Three, two, one.
So, back to the technology show. It is the technology show where we translate geek into regular speak. I'm Brett Levy. I'm your host this week. So, interesting times. I have moved on. I am no longer working with the We Love group, which means I'm no longer using their studio. So at the moment, I'm back in my old studio. Hopefully, the sound is still good. Content will still be good. That's for sure. I can guarantee that. Well, I know I can. I create the stuff. Yeah, so let's get into today's show. My screen configuration's also changed back again. I don't have the awesome espresso display above me. I'm back to having a side view. But anyway, let's see what we can do. So, as you know, I'm usually only about tech, but every once in a while, something cool comes along that kind of just breaks the mold. And let me tell you, the Mandelbrot Orbital watch is one of those things. I think I pronounced that correctly. It's Mandelbrot, Mandebrote. I think it could be French. Anyway, back to the show. So you probably also don't know this about me, given that I only talk about tech, but I'm actually a very big fan of watches and specifically analog watches. I do have an interesting collection. The Mandelbrot Orbital, however, it's just different. It's different in the best possible way. Let me actually get the screens up and get into the slides. Let's talk about design. Now, this is going to be really tricky for me to describe for those people that are actually listening or not watching. So I urge you to please visit the website. It's mandelbrot.com. Mandetbrote, Mandelbrot.com. If you are watching, you've probably already noticed that this is not your normal watch. So anyway, this is not just like a couple of hands spinning around. This beauty tells time in a way that is completely mesmerizing. In fact, the name Orbital couldn't even be more apt if it tried. There's just a central single arm, and it sweeps around the face, making the minutes in a smooth, fluid motion. It's actually almost hypnotic to watch because it doesn't move quickly, but as you're watching it, this little arm is moving. I've actually got the watch on. I don't know if you can see that. I'll zoom it in there with my screen savers and all those good things. It does this like hypnotic loop-de-loop type vibe. And then for the hours, so that's just the minutes, right? The whole watch, the 80% of the watch is actually about the minutes. And then at the bottom, there's this like jump dial disc. So picture like a record or a disc that's behind the watch face, and there's a cutout window at the bottom. I'm trying to be as descriptive as I can because for those people that listen to the show, and I have a lot of people that listen just on podcast, it really is one of those things you have to see. So I'm trying to describe this as best I can, but the disc rotates ever so slowly just to show you the current hour. There's like a small little arrow at the bottom that it lines up, and then the 30 minutes. So you'll just see 11, then a small 30, then a 12, then a small 30, and then a 1, and so on. And that rotates around slowly. So it's like a bit of a modern take on those old school mechanical clocks, but with a very sleek space age twist. You can immediately see that the watchmaker has got, well, they say they've been making watches and being in the watch industry for 20 years. And you can see it because this is just, it's like something you've never ever seen before. There are quite a few color variations. I have the blue flow, which is like a two-tone. So it's not all blue. The strap is blue. There's blue accents, but there's like this silvery white background. Again, you might better see it. If you're watching the show, it's the second top left of the watches. But as you can see, there's quite an interesting choice of colors. These are all limited editions to 500 pieces, and they are numbered. I have number 124. The whole aesthetic is stunning. The case itself is crafted from solid stainless steel. There's an ultra clear sapphire glass on the front. So it's not only scratch resistant, but it also has an anti-reflective coating. So you can always admire the unique face without any glare. As I said, I have the Flow Blue, the blue color. It's vibrant, it's striking, but it's not over the top. I think what's nice with that combination of having that white silver, it just breaks it. I also love the see-through exhibition case back. Now, most decent automatic watches or manual watches, and I just want to add there, for those of you, as I said earlier, that don't know I collect watches, I do not own, the only battery watch I own is my smartwatches. Every watch that I have in my collection is either manual wind or automatic wind. So having the exhibition case at the back is really cool, and you can actually see the motor. It's a Miyota 9015. The Miyota is a Japanese movement. The craftsmanship is just awesome. Anyway, what have we got here? I've actually brought a picture up of it. So you can see there's I think they call it a hammer or a swivel. I'm not sure what the right word is for the little piece that spins around. Now, I'm actually going to go back for those that are watching. You can have a look at the face. I'm going to go back 2 screens. So if you look there, and then it'll make sense what I'm about to say now. The watch does not have a logo or an emblem on the face, which is so aesthetically pleasing. Although I'm a big fan of branding and I'm in marketing, this is actually an art piece, and it would have been spoilt if there'd been a logo. Instead, on the movement and on the buckle, so that's the screen that I've put up now, you can see there's the Mandelbrot name. So kudos to them, because for any brand, especially if you're an unknown brand, which Mandelbrot is, it's very hard to not want to just put your logo everywhere and like make it, in your face. And that being said, if you look at some of the cachet watches out there, the Rolexes, Breitling, Omega, they've all got very dominant and front and center logos. So they've stuck true to a real good design aesthetic. Comment just came through here that popped up. Sorry, it's so weird having a different screen configuration now. I've lost it. Anyway, back on. Now, speaking of the buckle, you possibly know how much the watches feel matters. And I mean, it's the same as pens. People collect pens as well. Like they get these big, thick, chunky pens like the Mont Blanc pens. The leather strap is comfortable. Straight off the bat, it's comfortable. It doesn't feel rigid. The stainless steel butterfly buckle is secure. So it's got a double squeeze plus a loop, plus another loop. And the watch itself has a really nice weight to it. It feels substantial, but it doesn't feel clunky. I don't have very big wrists, so I don't really want to watch that overpowers and overbears on my arm. This is not that watch. And the Swiss Superluminova, which is the dials, it's what they use to make the dials light up at night. It really is cool in the dark. So it just adds like another layer of coolness to this piece. Now, I've used the word art piece quite a few times. It's the kind of watch that you can just stare at. It's just like, it really is it's a thing of beauty. It does come in a cool padded black travel case. I didn't have a nice picture of it. I'll hold it up for those that are watching the show. So it's a nice little leather padded case. What's also cool is you can clip the buttons off, and this piece that the watch sits on actually comes right out. There's press studs. What's nice about it though is it's a travel size, so you can take it with you on a trip. You can store your watch if you don't want to wear it for any reason. Maybe going down to the beach and you don't want to wear it. It is water resistant. I think it's got a 5 ATM. I'm not sure. I would personally never swim with a watch like this. It's just too beautiful to take into a pool, and it's got leather. But if you did fall in for any reason, your watch would be fine. What else we got? Oh, there's the Superluminova. So I've put a picture up now that shows the Superluminova. It just how it glows up at night. This watch is more than a gadget, and normally in things with a Z, it's always gadgets or apps that I'm playing with. It's an experience. It's a piece that you can wear every day. It will constantly catch your eye. It will always spark a conversation. It's just truly unique, and it's wearable art. I love it. If you haven't figured that out by this stage, then I'm not sure. So this is actually the second watch from Mandelbrot. I can't wait to see what's next. If they're this inventive and exciting. In fact, if you have a look, the first edition, which is also really beautiful. I think it's called the Wandering Hour. It's got these 3 like balls that move around. That sold out. It's gone. So if interesting timepieces are your thing, if you're looking for something special, it's Christmas time coming up. Maybe there's a special person in your life that you'd like to get them a really, really unique timepiece. I would head over to the website ASAP. There, I see that there's already some of the orbital collection is sold out. Some of the colors are sold out. So yeah, if this is your thing, then you need to get across mandebrote.com, mandetbrote.com. So I think that takes us to the end of things with a Z. Let's get back into tech, just in case some of you stumbled onto the show today and thought we were in Watchland. What have we got up first? Apple. So it's very rare that I'd have a go at Apple, and I'm not having a go at Apple. They've just issued an update to iOS 26 to address some of the earlier reported bugs and patch a vulnerability. Now, I'm not a fan of updating software until it's stable. I talk about this very regularly on the show, so it's not like I'm being wishy-washy. If you bought the new iPhone 17, you don't have a choice. It's pre-installed. You've got iOS 26. Personally, though, from a 16 backwards, for whatever the versions that will support it, I generally wait until version 0.1. In other words, 26.1. At the moment, I think it's 26.0.1. It doesn't go all the way to 10. Quite often at 0.07 or 0.08, it will then kick over to 0.1. A lot of people are like, oh, well, if it's good enough for Apple, it's good enough for me. It is, but you got to remember that your phone wasn't built for that hardware. Your phone is capable of supporting the hardware, the software. But whereas the new phone was built with that software in mind. So it can make a little bit of a difference. Reports of lagging, buggy, things like that. So, avoid the frustration. Don't fall out of love with your iPhone. Just don't upgrade until they're on a stable version. And generally 0.1 would be that. Tesla. So Tesla has announced a cut price on the Model 3 and Model Y. I think they're badging it as standard. They're reducing the price about $5,000. This is US only, I might add. And they've removed features that kind of seem a bit arbitrary. They're arbitrary, they're removing them, or that they even thought about them, but they're kind of necessary. Well, I don't know. You tell me. So the features that they're moving to help bring the price down include the FM radio. Now, everyone says, yeah, but it's got a beautiful screen and you can watch Spotify and you've got digital radio. Yeah, that's great. Try listening to digital radio. If you listen to radio, try listening to digital radio inside a tunnel. Doesn't work. So, I mean, I've driven through a couple of tunnels before. Thankfully, we don't have that many here in Australia, or not where I am anyway. But there are some countries in the world that have some significant tunnels. So good luck without and especially in the States, without an FM radio. Seat control buttons, they've removed that. And electric mirrors. Now, that's a bit of a fail. Manual mirrors in an electric car. It just doesn't make sense. I guess the Chinese manufacturers will continue to eat Tesla's lunch. And after all, they now do hold the fastest production car speed record of 496 kilometers per hour. It was one of the BYD derivative brands that actually achieved that. This is cool. So ChatGPT has introduced instant checkout. This is letting users buy items directly inside ChatGPT. So they are starting in the US, and I think it's with Etsy that they're pioneering this, or Etsy sellers, sorry. Now, that means you basically buy in chat without leaving the conversation. It's powered by an open standard protocol that is built by Stripe. So merchants and developers can now integrate with minimal friction. Now, if it's only in the first phase, and you can only buy a single item. So multi-cart items and broader merchants and regions and rollouts will come out later, I'm sure. But still, it's incredible the speed that AI is moving, and being able to do everything in one place seems to be the goal. It's like you'll log into your device and everything that you need, from chat to search to news to music, etc. And I mean, obviously, the AI will learn about you because it's your device. It's just going to be in one spot. I played with the Comet browser from Perplexity. I did mention on the show a few shows back. That is exactly what I'm talking about. You can stay within that environment and have chat in there, search in there, emails in there, calendars in there, etc. So we really are getting towards the goal of a single pane of glass. And that also then means that all devices would be able to support it, because you won't need browsers. You'll just need the widget and off you go. Staying with AI, my favorite punch bag. So Meta has said that it will start using data from its AI products. So their products include chat, voice, images, etc. And they're going to start using it to target ads on Facebook. So I guess if you're going to use AI, don't use any of Meta's, as they're going to now bombard you with stuff that they think you need, probably don't need. It's just frustrating. It's well, I mean, it's just one of those things, right? I've always said we are the product, and therefore we need to be served ads. And I've also said I want the ad to be relevant to me. But quite often on Facebook, you kind of click on things and search things, or maybe like use one of the tools. Even things like WhatsApp. Remember, that's owned by Meta. So if you're using the AI inside of WhatsApp, you are sharing that data about yourself back to them, and the targeting of ads. So I mean, you could be going down a rabbit hole, and now all of a sudden for the next 3-4 weeks, you can just get rubbish coming through to you on ads. I don't know if there's any more news. There is one last piece. Yeah. So Strava has hit Garmin with a lawsuit. So Strava and Garmin have actually they've been mates for years. Strava is an activity tracking app, and they're actually taking Garmin, who makes the watch. So Strava is software, Garmin hardware. They've obviously got software as well. They taken into court over alleged copyright infringements. So Garmin, which actually powers a massive share of smartwatches and bike computers, they feed data into Strava, and they're being sued because of using two of Strava's patents without permission, which is the segments and heat maps. I've never understood this with tech companies. When you have a relationship in place and then you kind of piss on it because you think you can do something better, just talk to each other. Avoid the hassle. Avoid the negative publicity. I got a couple of mates that I run with that have Garmin watches. I mean, they swear by them. They are smart. They're not as smart as an Apple Watch or a Google Wear OS powered device, but their battery lasts longer. They generally use an e-ink technology, so it has helped. And also because they're doing less than the traditional smartwatch, it doesn't have as much draw on the battery. But you read these type of stories and you're like, why? Just continue to play nicely with each other. That's always the trick. What else? I think that takes us to the end of that. I went to Q&A. What have we got over here that I've got on this side? Yeah, here's a nice one. So, should I cover the camera on my laptop? It is a good question, and I've actually seen this question pop up a couple of times, so I think I'll address it today. Basically, some manufacturers even put little slides, by the way, on their laptops. There's like a little slide thing. I've seen people get stickers they can slide over, and then I've seen people just put press stick or blue tack over it. But if you don't do or view anything dodgy, no judgment, I'm just saying, then the chance of being hacked and your camera being taken over are actually quite slim. As you know, I'm a Mac user, and Apple thought about this quite a while back. And now when my camera's in use, in fact, now I'm using the Mac camera, there's this little green light. So I can see, even if I'm away from my machine, I can actually see that my camera is on. Equally, there's an amber light if my mic is on. So obviously, if my camera is on, there's a chance my mic is on, but if just my mic is on. So to answer the question, don't do dodgy stuff. And then if you do, then possibly, yes, cover the camera. We're not using it. The only reason I would suggest maybe using a camera cover, if you do a lot of video conferencing or a lot of video calls and you forget to disconnect, then the camera cover would make sense. If you're just in the habit of doing that, but you actually forget to hit the button, which I failed to see how that would work. But anyway, I'm just hypothetical here. Then, if you're still connected, although your microphones will be working, no one will be able to see anything. You may also want to consider your smart speakers and your smart assistants, because believe me, they're listening too. So simple rule of thumb, don't do dodgy things, and you'll never have to worry about who or what is listening to you. So that takes us to the end of the show. It's a little bit different today. Yeah, it was a little bit analog, but I'm still smiling, still looking at it. So yeah, until next time, keep your screens clean and your knobs shiny.